Inflewence here, and today I have Bingotoys Jezzy B207, which is their jazz, I believe IDW jazz. And it's great. It's a great figure. I really like it. The paint apps, the details are great. He has a lot of accessories that are actually useful. And if you want to armor him up, I have him all armored with all the accessories on now. I will show all that. And there's just a few things, even the transformation. This is an example of a transformation that is kind of complicated, but not frustrating. There are a couple parts that I can't get right. Maybe I'll get it right on camera, probably not. Other than that, it's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth, even though it does have a lot of moving parts. The other thing is the butt flap, which I don't care, but I do know a lot of people do care and don't want to see it. I didn't even notice it. It kind of gets shadowed just the way it is, but you can kind of flare it out so it looks like I don't know, it fits to me. I mean, it just seems like the aesthetic, and you can't see it from the front like crazy.
Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
Accessories, you can see his head. I mean, his head is an accessory, but you can see what it looks like. He has his gun. He has this gun back here. It just plugs into this back piece and the handle folds. So you can have this type of, you can have that movement. It's a nice gun, just to show it. Pretty nice.
Subscribe.
And that's like the missile rocket launcher thing. Then he has this gun here and his handgun. Pretty nice gun. And they can combine together like this, or they can combine like this as well. So you have like a double. I'm not sure what application this would be for, but you can do it. And here's this. It's just two pegs. You just combine it together. And he has these things right here that you can put on his arms, but if you don't like that, you can take them off. They're just these speakers. And you can also, they have tabs and you can combine them together as well. And he can display it like that too. Here he has two swords, kind of swords, knives. They're a little small to be swords, but they're big enough. But they're both the same. And you can also combine these together like this if you want. And what I like too is you can combine them at the ends together, so he can have like a double sword, and he can hold that as well with one of the holes. And there he is holding that. If that's something that you like, cool that it can do all that. Move this to the side, just a couple other directions. They were okay. They got me through it, to tell you the truth. All the videos I've seen are from the car to the robot, which it comes in robot mode. Anyway, that's not helpful when you see when it comes from a different way than what it is. So there we are. Just some product pictures. I really like this figure. Let me compare it. This is Takar's Rodimus. Shout out to Chris Horton, who sent this to me for a review so I can review it and check it out. I'm gonna get to it. I just got it, and then I got this in the mail, so he kind of takes precedent since he's newer. And yeah, I actually like this. I don't have this. I am going to try to find it though. I know it's sold out a lot of places, but I think I'm gonna get it. I haven't even fooled with it really yet. I just opened it. There we go. Earthrise, not Earthrise. Yeah, that's still a series of Earthrise. It's the same. So Articulation. His neck The ball, this is a little, it looks a little flimsy to me, and it kind of gets out of like range. Like it's a weird range when you do it like this. But so his head goes up like that. It goes down about that much. Some nice range. Does do 360, and it can do side to side and have deep side to side. So that's cool. The arms out on friction, but they're very tight. So they go out about that much. I don't think anymore. It kind of looked like it went out more. I don't know what I was doing. I was just fooling with this. I don't know if this is just something that's not supposed to come off or is. Maybe it'll help. No. But we have swivel here. We have almost full elbow. Hand doesn't do anything but spin around. Has a thumb on a ball joint and a knuckle. I think it's on a knuckle. Yeah, it is. It's on the ball joint and the knuckle. And this has ball joint and the first knuckle, and it doesn't have anything else. But they're all individual, and they're pretty good hands. I do like them. Let me fold them up now for transformation. Waist, he has everything. So he has 3 separate. Well, the top isn't really a bend. It often bends. It's supposed to stay put where it is, and it doesn't really do that often. So you have that. You can get that bend, but then you have the bend here, and you have a bend here. So he gets the great range, like I said, using this as well. And it's fine because you can just get it right back to where you need it. It's not that difficult to do. But he also has the teapot, back and forth, 360. So that's perfect. A little bit too much for me because it does get out of sorts often when you're messing with it. Skirts go up, they spin around, mainly for transformation, but they go all the way up like this. Front skirts go all the way up, and they go flap down and up. Of course, the butt flap you can get up. So then on friction, he does the hurdles, very much so. And he has this extra movement here, like that. I mean, I know it's mainly for transformation, I believe, but you can get it to where you want it. So you can get a little bit more height on him, and his legs are a little farther back, like that. And it doesn't look too bad. It does expose the joint more, but it doesn't look terrible if you want him with a little bit more height on him. And the splits, did I do the splits? I don't know, but without saying, he can do the full splits. Has a thigh swivel at the top on friction. Move this out the way. He does get, actually, it's probably better if you put the flap down. He can get his knee that far. And foot wise, he has a lot of movement. The bottom piece is on a ball joint, and he has side to side movement like this. He can move like this as well, so you can get kind of more movement if you need it. And nothing on the toe, but it's ball jointed, so the whole foot goes down and up. Even though it's not a whole great big range, this moves. These will come out sometimes, which are on the legs, in order to keep the legs together. But it only happens when you're like really trying to manipulate this. The wings, you can move like this. You can move them back if you want, where you can't see them, but they are like far back because it's on this thing. I don't think you can move. Yeah, I think you can move this thing, but it has to be away from here. This is usually down, I think. I'm not sure what it moves for, but, and you can move these down like this if you want it even further. in, and then you can kind of move that in so you can't see it. You can, well, you can see it. These spin like this as well. It's up to you. Or you can have them like this. I don't know what you would want to do, but I like them flared out. Transformation is a lot harder looking than it is, I will say that. So we can pull this out. It's tabbed on here. I'll just pull it down. I just move all this in just to give me room for it. This can kind of rock it up. Right here, you can rock this up. There's a peg that pegs onto the tire. This peg pegs into there. It's not really hard pegs, but they're hard enough. You can get these arms together first. Just pull these out, just so just so they're not in the way. They are tight. That's the concern. And the fingers. This is probably one of the frustrating parts because the fingers move all over the place. There you go. Move that like that. And then these are out. They go out, or they're out in the end. So I just move them and then fool with it later, a little bit later. Do this as well. Move this in here and close that and just move this. So if you got this now, you can do it, or if you don't, just do it now. So you separate that and you pull this out, and then you can move all this. After you pull that, you can push this up, and then you move this head back like that, and it sits underneath just like that. And then you can push this back down and let the head chill. And the head is down there like this. It's all right. It's all right. Just let it relax. Now this, like, just move this out the way because it's going to rock up eventually. Now you want to move this around. So like I said, it gets kind of daunting because it wants to be like this in the end, and this should be on the outside in the end. I'm trying to explain it, but there's these two joints right there. Not joints, but like you move it out in order to get the clearance to spin this around. As you're spinning it around, you got to try to move this back in. I do it like this. Push this back in while moving this tire down. And then when it's flush, when it's back in flush, see how that's flush up and down? Then you'll have enough room for this arm. And you want to move the arm so this piece is on the outside in this tab, because it's going to come into play. Then you can move this up. There's a peg there and a peg under, and it just pegs on, and there you go. You can just keep it like that. Again, over here, I'm gonna try to show it again. So I kind of push this out, move this around, and then you can move this down here and push this back up and in so it's flush, and make sure this is out, pointing out. Make sure this is flush. This got to be flush in order to sit right. And I think that's pretty much it. These you can push down. You don't really have to do anything right this second with them, but you can push that down. Up, they came off. One thing, you can take these wings off. I didn't show that, but it's so hard to get them back on. I damaged the white peg because the hole seems too small. Well, not too small. There you go. It's maybe now it's okay, once I did it, but the first time I did it, it was hard. But then you can move these windows out. Yeah, move these windows out. And it's gonna be like that. You can kind of start to see it, but we don't want to fool, just get it out the way. Right here, move these up. And they kind of sit like that, move these up. Like I said, it's not frustrating. It is difficult, it has a lot of moving parts. A lot of things that have to be a certain way. This is down, so you want to move that up. You want to unpeg this, move that up, then move this like this. This right here, you can move it around like this. I still don't know if this is exactly how it's supposed to go, because it does get caught up. Maybe it's just the engineering. In the back as well, you want to unplug this because it's on, the front is on these two tabs right here. In the back has these tabs that's on in the back, and you kind of pry it. There's two tabs at the top that if you pull that out, it's better, but there's tabs at the bottom too. And that's how this waist stays connected. Then you can move this waist out. So now this waist should be out and up like this. And make sure this is all the way up. Yo, just like that. Just like that. Now I'll work on these legs. These legs are kind of a beast, but not, I mean, it's okay. We'll get there. So you can move this, watch it from scraping. I just move it around just to get all this out the way. This comes out right there in order to get enough room to fool with this stuff. I just move it out like this to kind of mess with this. You move these. These are on mushroom pegs and they do come off. But you move them, and then there's it's pegged right there. You move this up, and then you move that there, and it all flattens out, so it's all flat. Now this right here, you want to move that up there like that, and then this, you I kind of push it and pull it out. It has two spaces on the side here. It's not really pegs, it just sits in that little space. So you kind of pull it out like that and then pull it, and then this is pegged onto here and what holds the legs together, and you just flap that up. So now this is the biggest part that was hard to understand when I was trying to get this together. This is like this. You want to move this out. So once you move this out, then you can move this down, and this kind of bends down and out as well. You can move this all the way back in order to get some clearance for this. Trying to show it as comprehensively as possible, but it is difficult. So, and you move this out like that, and then this goes all the way down like that. There's a little space there. Then you move this around. You can move this up here. Eventually it's going to go in this space like this, so you just get that together. You can move this back up, and then this goes all the way up, and you can bend it like that. Then move this into that space there. And what might be hitting if you're having issues with trying to get this in there is there's a peg that pegs there. It doesn't really fit that great, so you got to kind of, you see that double jointed, kind of do that, and then it'll get there. And then there's a peg here that you can peg in the top of the foot, so the foot stays like this, and you can kind of see how it's going. Then this right here, did I do this side? Yeah, I did do this side. So then this, you kind of move this up and get it up top. It's only a little, it only moves a tiny bit. It doesn't move a whole lot. And then you should have enough room where this fits into that space there. And there you go. Then there's a tab on the end of the foot that's gonna come into play when you put these together. You just pull that tab out. Then you can do the other foot. It looks worse than it is because it's a lot of moving parts, but just move this up there like that. Get this off of here. You can do this before, or it doesn't matter right now or before. Move that, move this in, move this up and in like that. Move this out. Now you can pull this foot to extend it, and that gives it clearance to move all around. Then I move these in, move these in, and it's pegged in the front. Move that up, push it down, leave it flat. So then again, this thing right here, these you want to move down like that and around. Up, you can move this like kind of, as you're moving this up a little bit, it's just enough clearance, because then you can move this that way, and it's just enough clearance to get this way all the way. And then you just move this all the way up, situate that, then move this back together. Make sure the foot is like this. How you can tell, you can see it better from this angle. This will fit into here, and there's the peg hole that pegs right there, and then this peg right here, or this peg hole pegs right there, like that. And like I said, if you're having trouble you doing this, it's because right here you're hitting the peg. So you got to kind of, you know, get it out a little bit and then move it in, and then you can get this where you need it. Peg it on. Then you just worry about this later, because once you get everything together, then it'll come together. Now this, I kind of pull this out. I don't think I'm pulling it out though. It's just what I do, because I don't think it really goes out. I think the bottom really goes out, so I'm really pulling the bottom, but I'm just using this. Pull that in, and you kind of show it from this angle. Goes in there like that. Then you kind of fit that in there. I know I keep saying kinda. No, you do. You do. It's not kinda, you do. Then move this. Now, like I said, make sure this will probably be out of whack. So make sure you move this joint up like that, so it's closer to the top. And then put these together. Oh, make sure I did move this out, but there's another peg on this side that you move out, and it pegs. There's a peg hole there and a peg hole up top that corresponds with this one. And you put them together. There you go. Make sure this is right. Now what this does is this will come down and peg right there if you have it right. So that's kind of how you know where it's supposed to be. Is this a fit right here over top of these pegs? Kind of keep it together too. Pegs in pretty good too. This, I don't know. I guess you just keep these out. They get all jacked up too. But now you have this, and what you're trying to do is what you think you're trying to do. So this will fold down to these two pegs. There's two pegs right here that peg into right there, and then these pegs over here. Let me see, where is it at? Yeah, these two pegs. These are kind of pegging here, and these two are pegging back here. And you can also move this like that if you need to. Move this down here, peg this in on both sides, and then I peg the bottom in, and it kind of holds it together. So then you can kind of get it held together and then move this together the way you need it. Move it back. You can adjust it later. And now this, you're moving this in. There's a peg here, pegs on there. And there's a peg over here. So you just move that together, peg all that stuff in. Same over here. Should have enough clearance. So there you go. Be careful. I was being a little reckless right there. You can scrape that paint off though. This is the biggest hindrance in the transformation, is the teapot, because it just gets all out of sorts. So now with this, what I do is move these up. It doesn't really say that, and this is hard. Let me make sure I got this right. So this will move over. There's two pegs on the back here that should peg into these pegs. They kind of go over this thing. It's hard to do though. So just move this back, peg this back down. And then what you do here, you're pegging this in underneath there. Like that. Pegging this in underneath there like that. So it'll be like this. Now, this is the part that I kind of got a wing. There's a peg here that goes into the side here. Then there's a peg here, which is why I moved this up, that goes into the side here. Then there's a peg that goes into the arm. I have yet to get this exactly correct. I transformed this thing 3 times and I can't get it all the way correct. Oh wait, it might be this thing. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's supposed to be up like this. I'm gonna try it and see. Maybe I just didn't understand. Maybe that'll get the arms to where it needs to be. Looks like that might be it. So maybe we'll see. I'm gonna be the guinea pig. So right there, I know it's a lot of shadows and it's dark. Move that up and then move this down. So maybe it's supposed to be like that. We'll see if we get enough, if there's enough there, enough clearance. But, well, it definitely gets the arms to where it needs to be. So what I do is put that on the side, move this up. This has gotten out of, I don't know how this got down. There we go. Now you move this. Yeah, so that's good right there. This is not. Right there, right there. And then you move this down and there's that little thing that goes into there. That's really tight. Kind of mash it together. And here you are. You can fool with this back here. Oh, this got down. It rolls. It does scrape a little bit on the bottom, but that could be user error. It's nice looking though. For what they did, engineering is on point. I know, like I said, it does have a couple frustrating parts, but it's not a super frustrating transformation, despite it having a lot of moving parts. I always say there's a difference between frustration and complicated. It can be complicated without frustration, and this is one of those, I believe. So then you can bring in all the weapons, and you can arm him up to however you want. Put this back there. There's a tab on each side, so you can tab them in like that. You can put these on his wheels either right there, or you can do the Mad Max. It looks like he has a Mad Max vehicle, and then with these you can either, I think you can put them back here, but you need to not have the guns on. But you can put them right here. Then you have the armaments. I don't really like these things. Even over here, I don't really like them. Let me see. It's a place for them somewhere over here. I think right here. So take these guns off. The other armaments don't bother me. Put that there. Then he's playing music while coming at you. So I mean, there's a ton of things you can do. Like I said, it kind of looks like it should have some armaments on him, but you can see what he looks like. Got the little 4 there, clear windows. This is probably the best I've gotten it. Little, not even exhaust. Like I said, the engineering is pretty dope, and you can see it's pretty clean underneath. Not that I care. I know some people do, but. And just for comparison, since I got a car, here's Masterpiece side swipe. And that's about what they look like. He's bigger, he's wider too. You can see it better like that than side by side, how big he is. They did it though, they did it. And this is making me excited for their Computron. Even though it's a little stylized, I just think it might be great. All right, so if you enjoyed this review, give me a like, subscribe, and share, and all of that good stuff. And I'll get with you in another video. Peace.
You know, life ain't no, life ain't no, life ain't no. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.